Good to see you.
See you too.
Audio can actually be picked up, so anything you say will actually can and will be used against you. But so one of the reasons why I wanted you to kind of not say anything or say too much. You haven't played in how long?
4 months.
4 months. And what would you say your average score is?
95.
Okay. Where was it that we played last? Was that Arrowhead?
No. It's that place had water on like every hole.
Oh, Crust Creek? Not Crust Creek. Klein Creek.
Klein Creek.
Yes, Klein Creek. Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you remember this thing?
Oh yeah,
The what?
strap.
Yeah, the strap on. And can explain a little more about this. Flip it out of your shirt just a little bit more, please. Lovely this. Do you need a reminder on what it is?
No.
Okay.
I remember the tricks, my spine angle.
Yeah, it just makes it a little bit easier for me to be able to measure something when I can actually measure it, in opposed to just kind of guessing using all that. And this is also going to get uploaded to your lesson online, so if you actually do want to kind of reference it later. All right, stand relatively straight up. You kind of remember the deal. Great. Perfect. Let's just go ahead and hit a couple shots. What club do you have there?
Pitching wedge.
Yeah, let's just warm up with that. That'll be fine. Great. Pretty good for the first one in 4 months.
Probably close my eyes.
Keep going. At your own pace.
Very stiff and working
How often are you working out these days?
I believe we'll say 3 days a week.
And so, just so I have it as a kind of top of mind awareness, high shots, maybe some fades, some pulls, kind of normal.
Some slices.
Some slices with the lower lofted clubs. So we'll hit one more wedge. And if you really had to decide, like right now, what would your desired ball flight be?
I think I prefer a slight draw cup, just because typically I would associate a fade with not hitting it square.
Okay, I can understand that. All right. So you have a 8-iron now.
Okay.
So what we might see is a little bit more of that fading shot, but go ahead and hit a few more, and then we'll actually take a look at it and actually start getting to work. Yeah, sorry. So I was seeing the exact same thing that you were looking at there.
I was like, what?
I'm not really looking through you.
So that was more of the hole.
Yeah, let's look at it.
So like that looks like the same hole.
Don't worry. We'll hit a few more. We need a larger sample size anyways.
But literally hit it exactly where the other hole was.
That's just a replay of the previous shot. You're consistent, you're not.
I'm not that consistent. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. Just do me a huge favor, make sure that the leg is not moving. That might be one of the things that's not capturing.
Okay.
Not a huge deal. There you go. Just a little too far. Right there.
click.
I would also, I mean, from when we played, I mean, obviously you can hit it really good, but misses tend to also be a little heavy and thin, right?
Thin.
Yeah. All right. Is it okay if we just kind of use that as our before swing, just to kind of take a look there? Or do you want to maybe hit one more? I mean, you can do it however you want.
You try and hit one more.
Okay. Go ahead. At your own pace.
Getting closer.
Getting closer to the middle. Sweet. So your swing has actually gotten a lot better. There's really just kind of two things that I want to try to adjust for you. Obviously, we can see that we're hitting some pull draws today. Sometimes those turn into pull fades, or if for some reason if the club face is open, or again, as I said, with the higher or lower lofted club, they tend to start straighter and then you still kind of curve it off to the right. So then it kind of gives you a feeling that you're actually not hitting, or you're just very inconsistent. But one of the things that you and I have talked about for a while is just our overall alignment. And while your feet are actually aligned decently well, your hips are 6 degrees open, which is too far. Your shoulders are actually 15 degrees open, so essentially you're hitting a great shot, you're just aiming not so great. And where that actually causes you to make mistakes is actually a little bit on this front view as well. So we're actually going to kind of kill two birds with one stone today. But because of where you're aiming and because we're actually not rotating as much as you could, it's very challenging for you to swing the club more to the right. So we're going to kind of do like a combo move today where we're going to kind of stay a little bit more on our front leg, which we've talked about previously. And then we're also going to do a little bit of a better job of trying to swing directionally more to the right. Okay? And in order to do that, we're just going to do a couple quick drills, and then I'm actually just going to have you hit some shots a little bit more so we can kind of be on our merry way. Sound good? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Really thought I was recording that, and I was not. So obviously it's on that, but let me just rephrase it so you have a bigger lesson online. We're not doing as good of a job with our alignment, and in which case, if you were to actually aim a little more to the right, we would hit a really good shot where the ball would start more to the right and still draw. We do a good job with our club face, having it close relative to the path. But the thin shots, sometimes the bad contact, and anytime that you're not really aiming a little bit more to the right, it's actually harder for us to actually obviously swing to the right. Kind of lost my train of thought there. So what we're also going to do is we're going to try to make sure that we have our weight on our left foot, because as I actually take you back, instead of rotating, you actually kind of just sit into that back leg. And that's probably stems from your softball experiences, and just kind of more like an intuitive way for you to be hitting. Unfortunately, it's not exactly ideal for an iron shot. And so we'll be taking a look at that aspect as well. And we got some key performance metrics here that we can actually take a look at as far as like how we want to try to do things a little bit differently, a little bit better. You just kind of rely a lot on your hands and your timing at the very end. And when you're on, as I said, you're on. I mean, you hit some pretty good shots. But obviously, it's not to the level that we would really want to try to achieve by the time that we're actually getting into the season next year. So we're gonna do two things tonight, as I said. We're gonna swing more to the right, and we're also gonna stay more on your left leg. Which one of those two do you actually want to do first?
Probably stay on my left leg because I think I can.
Cool, that's fine. So when you're actually in your setup, go ahead and get into a normal setup position. And I'm actually going to kind of move you over here a little bit. So you feel like right now your weight is about 50-50, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm gonna actually push you just a little bit here to where you actually maybe 60. You tell me.
Yeah.
We're like 80 now? 80 on the left?
Yeah.
Somewhere that feels like you're 80?
Feels like a lot on my left.
Great. From there, what I'm going to ask you to do is just slowly, gradually work your way up to the top of the backswing, and let's just kind of do the stages. So, and you're just going to kind of push down as if you have like something underneath that left foot that you cannot let move. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Great. That's going to be closer to the feeling as far as what we're actually going to go after. Okay. Now, as a function of this, you're probably going to slam the club into the ground. Go ahead and start over for me. You can actually talk instead of just nodding. I like verbal answers.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
You don't have to call me sir either. But, so you're just kind of, we're pushing into that left shoe, just a little bit more than what we normally would do. And whenever you're ready, let's just kind of take it back nice and slow, and we'll just hit like a small punch up the iron or something like that.
Okay.
Great. And we would expect a lower shot as well. Now, just because that's the only thing that we're talking about here, I just want to show you this before and after. And there's not really a whole lot that's very different in the beginning portion of the swing. If I were to draw some funky lines and kind of say, okay, well, it looks like your weight distribution it appears to be a little bit more into the left side, just at address. Sometimes commonly known as P1, or I like to refer to it as that. But what's really interesting is that by the time that your club shaft is parallel to the ground, the PGA Tour average of the amount of hip sway that moves towards the target is anywhere from 2 to 3 inches. And what we're actually starting to increase here is exactly that. Now, this time we actually got 1.4, so we actually did a better job of getting your lower body more towards the target. I believe that we can actually do that more, which we can equate to just trying to stomp on that left foot a little bit better. And then as I take you through the rest of your swing, just in one attempt, you can kind of see where that hip sway actually doesn't get towards the target enough. You eventually kind of get close, but it's a very late move, which again kind of stems into more of your softball days. This is just maybe a little exaggerated, which is absolutely fine given what we're talking about.
Okay.
But that's kind of the idea of what I'm trying to get you to do.
Yeah, still more vertical on the on my left leg, like posting up, or
you can phrase it like that.
Even
yeah. I think it has a lot more to do with the timing of when you're actually moving to the left leg. Okay. You do it a little too late to where you're actually adding a lateral shift this way and then you're trying to do it this way. All you need to really do is just say, okay, I'm going to push into this left leg. We're going to talk about this, but then we're going to turn. That's going to be a little bit less, fewer moving parts. So let's do another one.
I do remember working on this in a different lesson. Still punch shot?
Yeah, I just think going full speed and go full swing is a little challenging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still kind of felt like
kind of moved late.
Well, like as I was posting, it was like I'm posting and swaying this way.
That's okay.
That's okay?
Yeah, okay. As long as you don't move this way.
Okay.
Right, so if we're starting on this superficial like 80% on the left leg, it's 60%, somewhere close to that.
Sure.
As long as you aren't moving into the right first to kind of gain momentum to then go left, that's what I'm concerned about.
Okay.
Yeah. How many more you want to do?
Do one more.
Just one? Okay.
Maybe two.
No problem. Your call. I don't care. That was a really good one.
Felt good.
Yeah. It's kind of nice when it feels good in your body and the result is kind of good too.
Yeah. Well, just like the feel of impact was really good.
Yeah. That's also what I kind of meant as well.
I don't think how far did I, let's see how far back I went.
How far back you go is indifferent, honestly. What we're really talking about is trying to increase this towards the target thing. And again, in which case you're actually moving kind of 2.7 inches towards the target. Again, I don't want you to be thinking about the number of how much, but just the fact that you are moving more than you were before.
That way instead of that way.
Exactly. That's kind of the ideal thing. Cool. So you still want to try it again? One more? We're going to keep that in mind because, as I said, I think there's a component that we're just missing out on, and it has a lot more to do with what we're going to be seeing in this view. So I'm going to move my camera back. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our setup. You're still going to feel quite a bit of that weight kind of going into that left leg, and I'm going to add a component here. So what we're actually going to do and feel is just a little bit more of this kind of turning with the hips. Okay, and this to you might feel a little different. What is that? How are you doing it? What's going on?
I feel like I'm corkscrewing almost this way.
Great. What direction would you say that you're aimed as you're sitting right there, standing right there?
It feels like I'm aimed to the right.
Great. So we're still going to keep that weight on that front foot, and let's just go ahead and hit another like kind of half speed, full swing, or whatever you want to do. So that ball starts much more to the right, curves a little to the left. There's your draw that you were asking about. And then now if we try to apply this across the bag, that'd be pretty good. But that was one time, so we'll try to do it more than once.
Yeah. As you see, eerily not being consistent. Well, I'm not touching the right side. Which is usually where I would prefer not to be.
Say that again a little bit differently. What do you mean?
Well, I think of being to the right side as probably some kind of fade or slice.
Right. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. You said that you wanted a draw.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want the ball working away from the target instantly. So if the ball is going to be curving left, where does it have to start by definition?
To the right.
It's just weird. I know. For someone who sometimes slices, and
well, yeah,
it's weird to start at that part of the right.
Yeah.
Or aim that way.
It's weird to think about that it has to start there to finish where I want it.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I've found with a lot of people, in all honesty, is people have this like misconception of what their ball should do, and then as soon as like their optics have to change and they're focusing on something a little bit differently, it is really strange. I was talking to a guy today about putting, and he basically said, it's like he thought he was square and he was actually still aimed so far to the left and was wondering why he kept on missing putts. Got him to actually aim it a little straighter, and he said, I feel like I'm aiming 45 degrees to the right. And I said, fine, hit it, and it goes in. So just where you're actually looking, it can be really, really unique on the brain.
To the point where it probably feels over-exaggerated compared to how it actually looks.
Correct. So on that, go ahead and do one more. So, how do you think you did?
I felt like I kind of snapped over the top of it.
Okay, let's try it again. I want to take a look at one that's going to be, that you feel good about. So we have a little checklist. We have a little bit more pressure into that lead foot. We cover hips and shoulders, aiming to the right like a corkscrew. That's it.
That felt really good.
I'd be okay with that shot. How far does 8-iron normally go for you?
Usually I'm about 150, I would say.
So 152 is pretty accurate. So that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what's really interesting is that, and again, I don't want to bring up, I don't want to make this all about like tour averages and stuff, because I mean, who really wants to be average? That was a joke.
How long have you been working on that one?
so if we were to look at this and compare it to what we had earlier, even just the down the line view, what we can notice from the address position, you can see that your shoulders are much more square. Now actually they're still technically, how we read it, they're still open, which is interesting. The hips are just more degrees closed. So you can see a little bit more of your left thigh. Yep. You can see a little bit more of your left forearm there. That'd be just a good indicator, other than just the feeling of the corkscrew. I would say that maybe you're a little excessive, but at the same time, we just hit a really great shot. So maybe excessive right now to you is actually just right where you need to be. Now, here's the catcher, is that by the time we're actually thinking about a couple other different things, are we still maintaining that hip sway thing? And where I think we need to maybe kind of come back to is that we're actually still kind of sitting into that right leg a little bit. So we're not doing as good of a job. We're doing a better job for the setup, but we're not doing as good of a job of kind of initiating that lateral movement towards the target enough to actually ensure hitting the golf ball first and making the more contact, better contact. Fair? Yep. All right, so go ahead and set up again. Now, we are going to be over-exaggerating this movement, okay? But go ahead and slowly start your backswing. That's closer to the sensation that I'm going to ask for. Do that again. Okay. And we can do this too. So I'm going to help you at first. There you go. So I'm actually doing two things right now. One, I'm making sure that you're still setting square, and then I'm actually adding some lower body rotation, and that actually allows that hip sensor to go towards the target. You with me? Mm-hmm. That probably feels very weird.
Feels like you're going into a weird stance right there.
Yeah, right. Go ahead and set up again for me. And bring it back. Great. Now, what direction do you want to swing? If you had to swing down from here, what direction would you move?
I want to go that way.
Which would be out, right?
Right.
Which is the direction we have to swing if we want to draw it. It just makes it easier to do all of these things. It doesn't need to be super complex. Somewhere between 2 to 3 inches or 3.5 there, that's fine.
See if I can make better contact.
Yeah. That one started a touch to the right and actually over drew. Okay, now that's a little related to something that we're not talking about now, which we can talk about later. But if your normal trajectory is that kind of contact, club moving more to the right, and you're still kind of hitting these things that are kind of starting kind of straight or a little right and then overdrawing, that's fine. As long as we're not hitting pulls and fades. Fair? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So what I'd like to try to do is actually a different club. That's okay?
Different club? Sure.
Now we got 5-iron in our hand. There is 3.3. Allows you to actually do what we maybe want to do. So again, this is where we would normally see maybe some fades. So let's just see how we do. And again, I don't think 5-iron goes what, like 210, 190, 180?
Probably
200? Okay, the one number I didn't say.
Right in the middle.
Sorry.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Right down.
I think hitting it maybe 150 to 175 at first would be okay. But you're still going to try to do that little thing in the setup where we're kind of pushing into that left leg a little bit, aiming a little bit more to the right, or feeling like a corkscrew. And then as you start that swing, almost instantly we're going to just be trying to rotate that hip and maybe kind of like, how did you phrase it earlier? You call it something.
Hitting it out. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Either way. Go ahead.
Makes makes me think of hitting into the opposite field in baseball.
That works. So let's use this as some feedback. If you hit the ground first, I'm going to encourage you to try to go more into that left side.
On the turn?
Yep. No matter how much you feel like you're doing it, and if it feels like you're doing, I'm just kind of do this in reverse here. But if you actually feel like you're kind of going like this, that's fine. Okay. As if you're obviously trying to go over here. Sure. It feels like you're kind of really moving towards the target, and you're like, dear God, what am I going to do? That's fine.
Okay. Hopefully not fall over.
I don't think you'll fall over. Great. Fall over.
Yeah. Not that way. That felt really good though.
Trying to hit it between 150 and 175. Happens to go 190. How far did you? No, 200. Sorry. Never mind. I was close.
Carry 170.
Okay, that counts. Sort of. Really good. And again, so just so you have this when you're looking at this at home, because I know you're going to watch this lesson 100% of the time.
Yep.
But what we can actually look at it right there. So there we go. So we're getting within our range with a different club.
And I'm not crossing that blue line.
Your hips are not going past. They're not swaying away from the target. You're excessively moving towards the target. Only like Kevin Sterling would do something like this. You don't have to move that much, but I think what we're trying to get done is just kind of give you a sensation of what it actually might look and feel like, so that way we don't have this lateral move as much as you used to. So here's your expert ball, for example, where there's just maybe a little space between the leg and the the line where it starts. So again, I'm purposely forcing you to exaggerate, purposely getting you to do too much. Ricky hits it pretty straight. You were frustrated that it wasn't going straight, so we're just trying to go on the opposite extreme first. Oops. Go again. Let's hit like 5 in a row. Is that okay? Very good. Kind of a side challenge for you after these 5. Just let me know how each one of the 5, after we hit all 5, how they each feel.
So that one felt a little chunky.
Okay. So you know what to do after that, right? Just need more of that.
Just need more.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Ooh. Okay.
good, but that was a full pull.
Okay. So I mentioned earlier that we're going to do these two things. One is kind of be more into the left leg. Two is just kind of aim ourselves a little bit more to the right. Are you able to, and we can try this, and if it doesn't work, then we can just go back to these other two things. But there's a component that I told you earlier that said, hey, we're not going to talk about that tonight.
Now we're going to talk about it.
Do you want to? It's up to you, it's your call.
Sure.
Because there's something that's a little bit unrelated that we just haven't gotten to yet. That's causing these shots to just go a little bit too far to the left. Because right now you're doing a great job, particularly the last two. I'm like having a little party in my head. I'm saying like, yeah, hey, here we go. Things are going great. Yeah, but, you know? So, it's your call. Whatever
Sure.
you're doing. Sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Here's your 8 iron back. So we'll switch it up again. Assuming that you have to keep the setup and the sensation of the backswing the same. And you said earlier that you kind of felt like you were hitting it to right field, or opposite field, excuse me. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to try to actually do that. And from our previous lessons, we've actually talked about, okay, well, hey, the club face needs to be open, club face needs to be closed a little bit more. Currently, you're closing the club face too much.
Feels like it with
how these shots are just going lower and curving left. Or not starting enough to the right, rather. So why don't we just hit like 1 or 2 shots? We're still going to do the setup, we're still going to do the hip thing, but we're actually going to try to hit that target over there, and we'll see how you do. Okay.
close.
Closer.
Yeah. You know, really got to just exaggerate it maybe a little bit more.
So it's actually going to feel a little bit,
Like almost like a shank in it.
I don't like that word. Right, just go ahead and start bringing that foot back. Yeah. So you're doing a good job there. Really, we're already doing enough to swing out to the right, but all you need to do is you just need to kind of come through with that club face feeling as though it's something like this. Okay. And then after you can kind of do your own thing. But what I would say is that maybe hitting a shot where you kind of pause here, because what has been happening is that it's kind of going this, kind of maneuvering the club face. So the difference between the face and the path is that the body can actually influence the path pretty easily, but your hands are the one that actually kind of manipulate the face. So again, if we're trying to hit that ball somewhere all the way out here, probably need to leave that club face open, much like that. And it's incredible at how straight that ball actually starts relative to what you think it's going to.
I feel like it's going to
Yeah.
be a line drive straight right.
Sweet. So you're still maintaining setup, you're still maintaining the shift and everything we're talking about, so keep going. Can you get it to go more to the right? Perfect. Entirely too far. Right? I mean, that's like absurd.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So now you know what the end of the spectrum was, and we can look at it on video, but I'm pretty sure that last one hit here. All your other shots were actually hitting here. So, you know, if the task is to hit somewhere kind of like right around here, you need to kind of go in that. Just like the hip thing that we're doing, all right? Exaggerated too far, and let it come back a little bit, and then we just rely on me to say, hey, okay, well, we're still doing a decent job. Might be able to get a little bit more towards the target. We're only 1.5 inches now. But again, I'm purposely doing that. I'm implementing almost too many things to kind of see what you're able to handle. Setup is still great, so let's just kind of keep going at this. The last shot was really good. Great. mean, it's just kind of annoying, though, with how it feels relative to like what you think in your head of what it might do, right?
Well, that, I have kind of like in my head, because I don't play very often, was kind of thinking I was getting to about here and just kind of doing one of these, instead of just finish through the ball and then you.
Yeah, that's a way to say the same thing. Let's make sure we're still stomping on that left leg.
That was my sweat.
Let's make sure that that's why I'm repeating myself. Let's make sure we're kind of twisting the hips and shoulders more close. There you go. Again, that just makes it kind of, it helps you because now where are you looking?
Yeah,
So
it feels like I'm aiming directly at that.
Yeah, just hit it somewhere over there. Or even to the right of that, that'd be okay. Just have the face open. Feel like it is. Great.
Felt a little thin.
Yeah. So we're trying to hit that thing, what you said, 8 iron with 150? Yep. That's hard to keep. Sorry, it's hard to keep. The ball lands on 149.
So
You're 2 yards left of your target?
Yep. Little thin, but that would be okay.
That'd be, 3 yards left.
But, though most likely that would come in pretty hot to a green. But yeah, 2 yards to the left of where I'm aiming is pretty good.
And
for a 160
and for a 150 yard shot, you probably have about, if the flag's in the middle, you have 15 yards over the flag. So you're landing on it, like landing hole high, maybe bouncing over the back edge, chip up, 1-2 putt, walk away. We're not hitting these rope hooks into the water where we're having to either re-tee it or drop and then 1-2 chip and then 3 putt and walk away with it quad.
Yeah, makes sense.
A spiral downhill real quickly. Aim more right. Hips. Keep going. There you go.
Roll.
So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to try to come up with a checklist. Okay? So every single time you're stepping up to that ball, you're saying to yourself, okay, here's my intent. And we can work at this a little bit. We can say, if it's easier for you to do your hip alignment and then stomp on that left foot, that's okay. But if they have to include how much your hips are aiming to the right, how much your shoulders are aiming to the right, stomp on the left foot, hit it that way. Okay. What's the order you want to go through there?
So I think the first thing I want to do is hips turn with shoulder turn. Stomp on the left foot.
Perfect. Perfect.
That felt really good. Like just very smooth hitting the ball.
Yeah. And there's a ball that ends on 150, 8 yards right. Fine, with 24 foot line. From 150 yards is pretty good given what we're trying to achieve. Best part was that I actually started a little more right and then curved left. That's the ideal ball flight given what you were telling me about. I want to switch clubs, but I also want to maybe have you do it once or twice more. What do you want to do?
Let me hit one more, then we'll switch them. More turn.
Yeah, it's kind of just doing the little thing.
Is it? Yeah, I guess I feel like I get over it, and then I just don't. But like I'm like, am I really turn a little bit more?
Yeah,
But
I would make the argument that you need to turn a lot more than you feel like you are. I'm gonna change it up a little bit because we've been doing kind of the same thing for a little while. We're gonna do this. I'm just gonna load a couple of shots that you have to hit. So go ahead and pick a random number 1 through 18. Doesn't matter what 16. Oh boy, that's starting hard. I actually love doing this because when you're just kind of making movements, it's one thing, but then when you're actually changing the pattern and making it a little more random, in addition to giving yourself a challenge that's probably kind of right at the right point, it's just a whole new world. So if I were to say something along the lines of, here is a 146-yard shot. It's a little uphill, so it's probably playing 150. First of all, my first question is, where would you aim? We got a flag that's kind of tucked into the middle of that bunker there.
I would probably aim at the right edge of the green.
Okay, cool. Not entirely sure what just happened there. Hopefully that doesn't mess us up too badly. We'll just delete that one. So you would aim at the right edge of the green.
Correct.
Okay, well okay, so I hear what you're saying there. What happens if you aim at the right edge of the green and you hit it right at that?
Hopefully, well, if I hit it right at that,
You're effectively aiming to miss the green.
yeah.
Okay. So I like your thought process as far as aiming a little to the right, but we don't need to aim uncommonly to the right. All right, you want to give yourself some sort of room for error. I think maybe kind of at that little neck part, like kind of like right at the left edge of this little, the neck of the green. That'd probably be good because we know that we might have a tendency of over curving it or maybe even pulling it a little bit. But at the same time, the last few shots have actually kind of done exactly what we want. So let's go ahead and hit a few here. Sorry, give me a second, I'm sorry. All right, we're good. I just can't step on my foot. Alright. Really great. Ball starts a little to the right of the target, ends up, okay, go in the hole. Oh my god. Go in!
Oh, we high-fived too soon. But, yeah, that was good. So in my turning, I felt, I was like, all right, like, here's where I feel like I should go turn a little bit more and hit it what feels like going right.
I absolutely love that. I think that's an absolutely fantastic tactic. Definitely a lot more turn as we're actually initiating that backswing. Definitely more sway towards the target without being absolutely, unorthodox. That might have been one of the best first shots that I've actually seen. Like when we're actually attempting to hit this shot, that was just a really great version of what we're trying to do.
Let me do another one because it seems as though
Repeating is the challenge. So let's play a little game called Back It Up. So if you hit a good one, you got to back it up.
Yep.
And if you don't hit a good one, then you still have to hit another one to try to redeem yourself, effectively.
Okay.
Okay. So there's that little thinness, and I'm glad that you hit that one. Hopefully it doesn't land in that bunker. There you go. So there's that thin mist that you were talking about that we don't like. There you go. I'll search for you for those. That would define backing it up. That was great.
Okay.
It didn't almost go in like the first one did, but that was pretty darn good.
Let's, I want to try a different club.
Yeah.
I think. If that's okay.
We can, yeah. Just you pick the hole. You pick the hole number.
Let's go 12.
12. Okay. 12 is a downhill par 3, and we'll play it from 205.
Okay.
I think, as I said, it's downhill, so we'll still hit the 5-iron. Maybe go a little long. Who cares? We just don't want to be short because there's water short.
Yep.
And I actually like this alignment that we have right here. Short right obviously hurts, but at the same time, aiming more left, short right still hurts. So we might as well just kind of get the best bang for our buck.
Go right at it, and I have relief. I
Yeah.
have a lot of. There's a
You
lot
have
of
more
things
room.
on.
You have more room left. Yeah, exactly. It's okay. I think your foot slipped a little there. Those probably aren't the best golf shoes. They look good though.
Probably not.
It's okay.
Everything felt good until I hit it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just mishit it a little bit. Obviously, we're trying to do something a little new, a little different. It's fine.
A little bit.
It's okay. It's obviously a little easier with the 8-iron than it is the 5-iron. No big deal. I'll give you one more, and then we gotta switch shots.